Wandering through the great plains of life, things move fast, sometimes a blur. Don't you let this bumpy road separate you from the herd. And when you think the day is done, the sun is getting low, we're all looking for something rare, the great white buffalo. The Great White Buffalo Podcast with Ben Mayfield.
I always am impressed with people's socks. Like if they go out and they have like impressive socks, whether it's like colorful socks, like a character sock. Like for Christmas this year, I got 20 pairs of Star Wars socks. Each one's different. And I'm just impressed by people's socks. I think people need to respect the sock game more so.
I agree.
And if you're a bland socker,
that's
no,
lame.
thank you.
Exactly. I always have patterned socks on. They're almost always Harry Potter socks because my friend Emmy got me a 25 pack, an advent calendar of Harry Potter
That's
socks.
what I got for Star Wars.
Yeah. So I have a ton of Harry Potter socks. So I wear them every day. But then I also have a lot of fun. I have a lot of crew socks. Those like crew length socks. I have a ton.
Oh, is that like this? Or is
no,
like
that's
crew?
ankle. This is crew when it comes up
crew
like.
when it goes a little longer.
Yeah, I have a ton of them
you.
because I wear them with Converse.
I can never find cute socks.
No.
I never know. Like I don't.
Amazon, fantastic place.
I
for
know,
socks.
but all the ones I've seen on Amazon are like just tacky. But I like the ones that you have on. I like the ones that you have on. But I just like.
So we need to start a GoFundMe for Maisie's socks.
No, I have
got
the money
these at the
for
mall.
socks. I just like I want.
If you want to adopt a poor college kid who can't afford socks, call in today the Great White Buffalo Podcast to support Maisie.
Please send Maisie socks in our P.O. box.
Sock fun. It's like, well, do you even have socks on right now?
Dude, they're no show.
No show?
No show.
No show because she has no socks.
I'm also
I do
an
have socks
avid
on. That's gross
no-show
to no
sock
socks
wearer.
on. You know how like smelly my shoes would get.
Dude,
if I
I've
wasn't wearing
ruined a
socks?
lot of pair of shoes not wearing socks with them. Because I was like, oh, I don't like wearing no-shows with these tennis shoes, but I don't want my socks to show. So I just didn't wear socks, and I absolutely destroyed the shoes. Like, I had to throw them away. They smelled so bad.
There's a
that's
reason they
gross.
call feet dogs. There's a reason because your
They
shoes
smell
smells
like
dogs
Fritos.
after.
Let
Smelled
me
like
ask you
absolute
this.
Fritos.
Because that happened this summer where I first heard the term dogs referred to as your toes.
Yeah.
Is that like a new thing? That is not like an old school thing.
I don't know. I think it's becoming more popular and like relevant.
Yeah.
They're like, let them dogs out. And I was like, what are you
Yeah, or you
talking
could say,
about?
or you could say like a lot of people like in old days they would say like, oh, my dogs are barking whenever they would take their shoes off.
The old
No,
days.
No
like the
one
old days.
said that.
Like
What,
I
like
remember like
Dickens?
watching like 80s movies and stuff like that, and
Okay.
they're like, oh, my dogs
What-
are barking.
Name one 80s movie where he said, my dogs are barking, and it says feet out.
I don't remember, but I
Not
always feel
Lethal
like
Weapon.
no, I
Not
don't-
Commando.
I wasn't alive during that
Not
time,
Die
so I don't
Hard.
know a
Die
lot
Hard
of them.
wasn't crawling in and going, let my dogs out.
I did watch Die Hard recently. I'm like, man, his dogs, because he's walking barefoot on glass, and I was like,
Oh,
man,
that's
his dogs. But like,
Stop it.
I say dogs. I
You don't
refer.
like feet?
No, I don't like feet, but also like just like the image of someone walking on glass or like whatever. like stop.
all of Die Hard,
Yeah.
pretty much the entire movie, he was raw dogging it. Like I hated it.
Okay,
I
first of all,
hated it.
be careful about our language there, okay?
I'm not gonna say that on the podcast, but that is.
No, the podcast is already recording. Welcome to another episode of the Great White Buffalo Podcast. I'm your host, Ben Mayfield, and today we are off to a great start here. I'm with two hilarious people who I don't know knew I was recording, but I definitely was. To my left, one of the most unique names I've ever seen, because I also didn't even know how to spell it. Maizie.
Yes.
Maisie.
Yes.
What's up, Maisie?
Hi.
Is Maisie short for like amazing?
No. Oh
Hey,
my
there
goodness.
it is. I'm just kidding. What is it? Maisie, like your full name?
Yeah, Maisie's just my full name.
Oh, okay. Because I know there's the actress from Game of Thrones.
It's Maisie Williams, but she does hers with an S.
Yeah. Okay.
Like whenever I look up my name online, that's who pops up.
And she's a very nice lady, but no Z. So
No
she's
Z.
Not as cool.
She's
Yeah.
a faker.
I know Maisie's short for Margaret in some in
Well,
like
that's what
the
I was
UK.
wondering. I had a friend. I'm going to introduce you in a second. I know you're waiting for it.
Oh, I'm
but,
so
But
excited.
we're going to make her wait, because I had a friend. I had several friends in high school. One went by Margot. Shout out to Margot Brasky. She was but a Margaret. But this other girl who's a very dear friend of mine. Brasky was too. Her name was Margaret, but she went by Hoopie. Hoopie. Hoopie Ball. And her older sister went by Kitty, and her name was Catherine. And then the oldest one was Missy, her name was Marissa. So I kind of got it, like Marissa, and they just called her Hoopy. The older sisters just named her Hoopy, and she went by that. That was her. Like everybody called her that. Like even adults would call her that.
Just like a nickname.
Well, at first people just thought it was her name because she was so bold about it. But it's like, no, her real name is Margaret, which was my grandma's name too. So I get that. Yeah. Introducing our final guest for the day. If you want to get on camera, this is Miss Gracie.
Oh, I'll get on camera.
There we go. Boom. She's on camera. We only have one camera so far at the Grow Up Buffalo podcast. We are working to fundraise to get a second camera so we can like cut back and forth, trying to really up the YouTube game. Mm-hmm. But absolutely. I need to mention that because we have to do like in the first 5 minutes so people won't do it. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, you need to because we have videos. We have what's called YouTube Shorts.
Absolutely.
Right? Gracie, help me out with that.
YouTube Shorts. And we also have a TikTok and an Instagram. Follow us on all the platforms.
All the platforms. And I'm just really excited about YouTube. And I've mentioned it in other episodes too. It's just like there's a visual component to it. So people can see the Buffalo studio, what we're doing, how it's done. I know people who are Apple and Spotify listeners are dedicated fans, which is totally fine. Keep doing that. But if you're also trying to get a little bit more of a visual aspect to it, we're on YouTube, and I'm really excited about it. We have 60 subscribers as of recording this episode. Woo! Which hopefully our goal for 2023 is to get to 1,000. And so we're 6% there, but we're working on it. If we get past 1,000 somehow, then we'll come up with a new goal. But I'm really excited about that because at 1,000, you can start doing some more stuff with YouTube. They give you authorization to do things.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So we're going to 1,000% achieve that goal this year.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And Gracie is my
multimedia
or social
specialist.
multimedia.
Whatever title you want to give me, I'll take.
Supreme leader of technology for me. She has doing the TikTok. She's made clips. She's made videos. She's gotten people to subscribe. She's reposted on her own TikTok.
Yeah, my TikTok with all 50 of my followers.
I committed.
Huge following. Okay.
Huge.
Which is crazy because, like, you know, when I did the YouTube short, you know, you made that clip that I posted, and I just like started giggling because I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to do that. Like, no one, I record the podcast, I release it on Apple and Spotify, I do the video editing, but it's like a, you know, just a long video to make clips and then able to do that on social media, on Instagram, on YouTube Shorts, on TikTok. I mean, that's like, I hate to say like an old man thing, but that's like a generational thing that I don't know how to do that. I struggled trying to figure out when you were telling me the other day, it was like, oh, Ben, we got 1,000 views on a video or 82 likes. It took me about 10 minutes to figure out how to pull up the video and go, what is she talking about? Like TikTok, I was very confused. I was like, all right. And so anyways, I'm really excited about it.
Well, since doing actual social media, we started on Friday with like 24 subscribers and now we're up to 60 something. Yeah. So it's worked pretty well. Yeah. I'm flying by the seat of my pants with all the social media. I've never done anything like it, but I think it's going well.
Here's the thing though. We're going to make it big. We'll grow up Buffalo and you're going to get some offers from like some serious people like, hey, like, who's your person? I'm like, oh, her name is Gracie, and like, you can go make $1 million working for a different podcast.
You're gonna drop out of college to do this?
Oh yeah. Who cares about nursing school?
Sorry,
nursing school, now a social media influencer.
You're being a nurse in a different way.
Yeah.
You know,
nursing the soul.
Podcast is good for the soul. Yeah. Like you're loving people, you're being kind to them, and honestly, people need nurses on podcasts, not actual nurses, but podcast as a nurse.
Yeah.
And if there's any nurses listening right now who are rolling their eyes, we love you. We appreciate you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
We're just thinking Gracie needs to quit that dream and come work here full time. And she's like, well, Ben, can we do more than one episode a week? I was like, well, don't rush me. All right. One episode a week. Make some clips. It'd be fantastic. Maisie, also, today was your first day student teaching, right?
Kind of. I didn't actually student teach yet. I just met my mentor teacher.
Mentor teacher. Why? Why can I can be your mentor teacher? I know how to teach.
That's true. You could. If the school would let me do that, I totally would. You're a doctor, so like, why not?
That is
Dr.
facts.
Ben Mayfield.
I am Dr. Ben Mayfield. It's weird because like someone today, I kid you not, someone today, an older person, I say older person, they were like in their like 70s, were like, "Hello, Dr. Mayfield," and like shook my hand. It was like very serious, and I was like, hello, like I didn't know how to properly respond. I was stuttering my words. I was like, "Thank you." Like I almost feel like a what's it called when it's like a fake identity, like you feel like you're living a fake life. What's that called?
I have no idea.
Oh my god, there's a word like not phantom, where like someone's yelling it in the car right now, where you feel like you're living into like a false identity, like you're not really doing that. It was almost like I'm not Dr. Mayfield. Like that's not me. Like I don't even know what a doctor is because I remember idolizing. I want to shout out Dr. Bo Riles. If any of y'all are 4-H people, Dr. Bo is the most charismatic, wonderful human being. And I remember being in high school going, Dr. Bo is like one of the 12 disciples. Like, it's Jesus, Peter, and then Dr. Bo. And I was like, what? How did Dr. Bo get in there? They're like, no, that's not an old joke. That's he's wise and awesome joke. And he was just there. And so, like, for me to see that and kind of idolize him, well, that doesn't mean I can be a doctor. Right? Because that's like one of my heroes. It's like if you see someone, I don't know, being an Olympic athlete, then somehow you got into the Olympics. You're like, what the heck? That's like almost like a fake identity. And so I'm still not used to it. I'm still not used to being the fact that I have a doctorate degree. Like I am Dr. Ben Mayfield. And it's like, what? It just blows my mind. Sorry. I went on a tangent there about living the life as a doctor, but it just was just bizarre to me. Have you ever had a moment where, like, I don't know, like you were like a youth kid or something, or you're working it, and they're like, "Thank you for what you're doing as like a nurse or as a teacher," and you're kind of like, "Oh, well, I'm the same level as you," and you're like, "Well, no, like you're a teacher, like you're a youth helper, or you're a nurse, or you're helping someone do something medically," and it's like, "Oh, I'm in that role that once when I was a kid or a teenager, I looked." Up to those people. Does that make sense?
Yes. I have those a lot on like youth retreats and stuff. Like specifically on the mission trip when it was like Nathan and I were in like one of like the site directors for our group, and we're like, oh, I'm like parading these kids around New Orleans. Like I'm like in charge of keeping them safe, I guess, and like watching out for them and like guiding them through the whole mission trip, and it was it was really weird to think about.
It is weird. This is one of my favorite mission trip stories. I don't know if you remember this. We went to New Orleans together on a mission trip, and we're in this meeting. It's the first night, and it's all the adults, and they were talking about like going around different things, and they said that downtown around downtown, if you're working with the homeless population, can be a little dangerous, so just be careful. And I was like, well, like, what are our safety precautions? Do we have any? And the lady goes, oh, well, you're an adult, so like as long as there's an adult with the group, you'll be okay. And I looked at her and I was like, I'm just as easily stabbable as any kid is.
Precisely.
Exactly. I get it that like a kid can get stabbed and we don't want that to happen, but I also can get stabbed and I don't want to get stabbed. It's like someone's like, I'm going to stab this person. Oh, you're an adult. So sorry. Let me put my knife away. Yeah. Like, so sorry. It's like, what? Why do I have to go in dangerous situations?
I know. I think being an adult should come with like pocket mace. Like you turned 18. Here you go. You know what I mean?
I would love some pepper spray. My mother will not let me have it. She says I am more of a danger to myself with pepper spray, which is probably true considering I would spray myself in the face.
Have you been pepper sprayed?
I have not, and
it's not fun.
Yeah, I'm going to try not to. Have you been pepper sprayed, Ben?
Well, we're in a Chevron gas station. My mom walks in to go get something from the Chevron station, and on her keys was pepper spray. Oh God! And I was kind of like, this is like, and I was in high school. Okay. Well, I was not like dumb. I was like, well, I was still dumb. I was like a sophomore, or junior, and I was like, this is so dumb. And I accidentally like pressed it, and so like it didn't like I wasn't shooting towards my face. I was looking at the back of it, so it shot like just the windshield. like a little bit, not the whole. I didn't like hold down on it and spray the whole thing. I was like, it kind of when I was like, oh god, and then I was like, oh god, like I couldn't breathe. I was like, oh god, and so then I was like trying to like fan it out, and so like, I like, had to crank the car and roll down the windows, and my mom comes out and is like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm sorry. And so like she's like, I'm not getting in there. And so we waited like 10 minutes to like pepper spray the airspace so she could get in and drive. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I just didn't know. I was curious. It's not fun. Like I couldn't breathe.
I didn't know you could secondhand pepper spray yourself without there being an attacker nearby.
Yeah, well, it shoots out.
Yeah.
Like almost like a wasp spray. It's like. I don't know. It's a little. That's my sound effect. But when you shoot a windshield, that's only like like a foot in front of you. Then the airspace is there. Yeah, it's like it is like kind of clogged up the car. If you're outside, some guy's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Like, you spray them, and then like you can run away or whatever.
Just make sure the wind.
Yeah, that's what.
So you gotta do a little. Put a finger up in the air, figure out where the wind is before you spray.
And if you have a guy that has like a fan next to him, you know he's a bad dude because he's waiting for someone to pepper spray him and that fan to get him back. Yeah, I don't know a lot of guys who walk around with active fans next to him, but if they do,
but like, what if
I'm gonna start?
Like, what if you just blew?
If someone
it's like a jet stream.
It's
aggressive
pepper spray, but can you imagine if someone like had deep enough lung capacity to like just
like Superman and just blow it back? Yeah. That's almost impressive.
Terrifying.
It's like, what happened to you, Macy? I wanted to pepper spray this guy, and he blew it back midair, and now I can't breathe, and I'm dying.
That would be something that would happen to Maisie. That would be.
Why?
Oh, man. Yeah. Maisie. We're praying for you. The whole podcast studio right now. We just need a moment for Maisie. She's the only person in history that's ever been self-pepper sprayed.
No.
That would be you.
Oh, that was you. Okay, I'm the one that's self-pepper sprayed. You're the one that some guy blew it back in midair back onto you. Jeez. And I hope no one ever has to be pepper sprayed because there's no need for it, no cause for it. I hope there's no situations that get dicey enough where you have to do that.
Yeah.
But also, I don't want to get stabbed in New Orleans, and so have some better safety measures.
Like a taser.
That's also something I was worried about.
That's true. But getting tased?
No, not tased in New Orleans, but like just like I'm unsafely comfortable around strangers.
That's true.
Wait, you're like, strangely
unsafely comfortable.
So if you meet a stranger, you're like, "What's up, best friend?"
Yeah,
Maisie makes me nervous. I'm afraid Maisie's gonna get attacked one day because someone's gonna come up to her and abduct her, and she's gonna be like, "Hey, pal, what's up?"
That's also weirdly beautiful too.
I was in Chattanooga. I had not told my parents I was in Chattanooga, like before I went, and I was with two of my friends, Morgan and Hannah, and we were walking along the side of the street, and this guy walked up to us. He was like, "Hey, do you want a poem?" I was like, "Sure."
Oh,
a poem?
Yeah. And because he was writing them himself, and so like he was like trying to open his bag, and it was like stuck on the cloth, and I was like, "I hope there's not a gun in there," and we just like stuck around and waited for him.
I mean, he's not like in the middle of the public. Hey, you want to hear a poem? Pop, pop, pop. Like, not gonna shoot.
But like
you
we were like basically alone on the side of the road.
Though.
We were alone on the side of the road.
Oh.
Like not the side. Like we were on the sidewalk and cars were passing, but it was also Chattanooga, and I don't think anybody was gonna like stop and like check on us if there was this random man like
attacking you.
Well, like I don't know. He was anyway. So he was fiddling with.
Did he have a poem though?
He did. So he pulled it out finally, and it was like in this Manila like folder, and he pulled it out and it was all ratty and everything, and he goes, "I think y'all will like this one. It's a spiritual poem. I wrote it in prison."
Okay.
And then he gave it to us. It was a
Johnny
really cool...
Cash went to prison. I love him.
Yeah, it was a really cool poem, and I still have it.
Wait, he gave it to you?
Yeah, he gave it to us, like the physical copy that he wrote in prison.
Wait, that's awesome.
That's what I'm saying.
So, and you know what, Gracie? This is your fault, okay? Because you're attacking her about her getting in dangerous situations by talking to people, and maybe that's true on some level, but also that was a beautiful moment where she did not judge him. She was open arms, Well, I hope you didn't open your arms to hug the guy or whatever. But like metaphorically, open arms, and he got a beautiful poem that you still have to this day.
I do. It was really nice.
Was it a good poem?
It was pretty good.
There
was a lot of there was feeling in there. I think that's what mattered the most, rather than like.
Did he read it in front of you
No.
before he gave it to you?
Wait.
Or he just gave it to you?
Yes.
To which one?
He did read it.
Oh, he did read
it.
Yes.
Dude, my dad used to do that crap all the time. He'd be like, Dad, you want to go to Zaxby's or Chick-fil-A?
Yes.
Yes. Dad? It's like, he does that all the crap all the time. Do you do that?
Maisie and I will do that to each other.
We were trying to decide who was going to drive somewhere one day.
We were going to Chick-fil-A for breakfast.
Yes, we were going to Chick-fil-A for breakfast, and we both walked in. And so we're like, who's going to drive? And I was like, well, I don't mind driving, but you can drive if you want to. And she was like, well, I don't care either. Like, I can drive or you can drive. I'm like, okay. And we did this. And we did rock, paper, scissors. And then I won. And she's like, well, what does that mean?
Yeah, we didn't
like,
decide. We didn't decide what the parameters of rock, paper, scissors were. Like, we didn't decide, winner drives or loser drives. We just, rock, paper, scissors. We were so serious about it. We, like, tied, like, 5 times. And then Maisie finally won. And we did not decide what the winner was going to do. So Maisie just grabs her keys and storms out of the house.
I'm so done.
You must set parameters
I was so done.
to rock, paper, scissors before
Exactly.
you go. If you don't set parameters, it's Wild Wild West. You know?
I was like,
So you won, you're
collapsed.
like,
I collapsed.
so what did I win here?
I collapsed on the floor. I didn't move for like 2 minutes, and I got up and stormed out without saying anything.
We were both like hyperventilating because we just did not. And now, anytime we have to make a decision, we just immediately go rock, paper, scissors for it, but don't make a decision.
No,
Well,
one of
who
us
dro-
just
who
grabbed.
drove
the
here
keys.
tonight?
She
I
did.
drove here
Did
tonight.
y'all rock, paper, scissors it?
No, she doesn't trust my driving anymore.
Maisie almost got in a wreck the last time I was in a car with her. She hit a cement wall.
Okay,
She hit a
it was
wall.
Like that big.
What?
It was like really low. It was not that like, and it was not that fast. It chipped the paint on my car. It was not. It was
so
not
not
bad
that
at all.
fast, but you definitely hit something.
I did.
She hit a cement wall.
Was the wall moving though?
No.
No.
I was trying to help you out.
No. It was totally my fault. Okay. However,
Okay. So you're
So I
driving.
passed
We have
someone's
a visual
house.
now, so now they can see it, right?
so like I passed someone's house and I was like, oh, I needed to go into that house, and so I just backed up. But I went. So the house is this way, and then the road like slightly curves like a fraction of an inch.
Right.
And so I was on that part and I backed up and didn't turn my wheel when it like changed like
So a fraction of an inch got you.
yeah.
Man.
Got
But
Lola.
you were backing
Yeah.
up into it.
Yeah.
And that's where you hit it.
Yes. I didn't like
It's not terrible.
That's what I'm saying. I did also almost get hit by the sheriff on the way out of the sheriff's station.
yes. We were going out of the sheriff's station, and she did not realize that there was another section of the parking lot to our left. So she's going towards the exit, and a sheriff almost T-bones us.
Yes.
Because he's coming out, and she didn't stop. This
There
was
was
all
not
on
a
the same
sign.
day. This was all on the same day.
There was no signs, there was not a yield sign or a stop sign or even a line to signal
Oh,
that
that's
there
true.
was
Did he
anything.
pull you over?
No.
No.
I think he saw my face. And
Yeah,
I
he
was
saw the two
smiling.
of us in the front seat.
Yeah, he didn't see Nathan in the back. Nathan was there for all of this. Actually, it happened to this me
Shout out
backing
to
into the
Nathan.
me backing
He was
into the
supposed to be here
cement
today.
wall, and me almost getting hit by the cop happened within like 20 minutes of each other.
Was he in there when you hit the wall too?
No,
Yes, he was.
Oh,
Nathan was in the car.
Nathan?
Nathan's
Yeah.
the one that told her to stop.
I thought you meant the police.
Nathan is the one
Oh.
that was like, stop, 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 stop.
But like, and then I heard the op, and then, but by that time we already.
It's better. I just pointed at the cop. I saw the cop
She's
and she didn't. I just went, and pointed.
Yeah, not helpful at all.
One of my scary stories is, you know where like if you go past a Shasta, like you're coming towards Dahlonega, Shasta's on your right. It's a little bridge, and then
Yeah.
to the left is like a canoeing.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
place
yes.
right there. There's a car stopped there, and I'm stopped behind them, fully stopped, and I was driving the orange Kia that
Oh, that Kara has.
Kara has now. Shout out to Kara and my orange Kia. I miss you, orange Kia. So I'm driving that, and I'm fully stopped. This truck behind me is coming, and he's not slowing down. And I can't move because the guy in front of me stopped, and he's waiting to turn, and cars are coming by. And I was like, oh, they're not looking. They're not looking. They're not looking. And he finally looks up. He was on his phone, and I could see it all in my rearview mirror. It's like, I'm going to get hit. He swerves out of the way, goes off-road, and goes like, past the two cars and is able to get back on. the car behind them was going full speed, going, what were they doing? And then it's a teenage girl, and she goes, and she like slams on the brakes, hits me, and then but the car was then turning, and so that car turned and didn't get hit by my car, and so I just got hit. I was just like, and I just saw it coming. It's like, all right, here we go, body loosen up. Pah! Like got hit. It was terrifying because I couldn't do anything. I felt helpless, and I could see the first guy and the second girl. And the second girl was like watching the truck, like, "What's that truck doing? Oh my gosh!" And just didn't have enough time to stop. I mean, and obviously her insurance paid for my damages, and I didn't break anything or have head trauma. But it was horrifying seeing a car coming full speed, the first car, and going, this is how I die. Okay, cool. What do I want to do? My last 8 seconds of life,
Loosen up, I guess.
Yeah, loosen up. Like, where's my inhaler? I'm going to take a deep breath. We'll see what happens.
My cousin got rear-ended a few weeks ago, but he was driving my uncle's gray truck, and like he was stopped behind somebody, and it was the guy who rear-ended him was going like 40 miles an hour, and so my cousin got
Which is faster than you think when you get hit by it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
My cousin got.
Tucson car.
You sounded like you were from Minnesota.
Oh, you
Oh, yeah.
betcha.
Oh, yeah.
You betcha. You got hit.
No.
Gracie's from Minnesota. in case you didn't know.
No. So
The best
he
flavor
Minnesota.
is-
So he got rear-ended at like 40 miles an hour and had a really bad concussion. But he was talking to the guy afterwards, and it was, this guy was in the plane that landed in the Hudson. Which I don't know how you
Like Captain
segue.
Sully? That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know how you segue into like, oh, Tom Hanks saved me to like from like rear-ending somebody.
Well, one of you like told
Tony.
that story to be like, also, so you probably shouldn't sue me because I hit you because I'm like kind of a hero.
I don't know. I don't know. You never. I wasn't there. I
'Cause
want to know though.
The guy that was in the plane that landed on the Hudson was the
Yeah.
one that hit your cousin, right? Yeah, he was definitely telling the story to be like, pretty cool, right?
Just
So
saw
you're
the
not-
movie, just rented
Just-
it.
like-
Just rented it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I remember.
Lied about the whole
I'm
thing.
that guy. You remember Tom Hanks? That's actually me."
Have you ever seen a little movie called,
Sully.
Sully? Yeah, that's based on my life. It's not a
Awesome
big deal.
movie. Awesome movie.
Or tell someone like, yeah, I was in Vietnam. And you're like, were you though? You're only like 25 years old. And it's like, I was in Titanic. Oh crap! No, even older. Ever seen a biography of my life? It's called Star Wars. No big deal. It's like, dude, I think you're lying to me. It's like, no, I would never.
I'm actually a crime-fighting vigilante.
Yeah.
I don't have to talk about it, but it's kind of a big deal.
Name's Bruce. Might have heard of me.
Dude, is that like last night?
Yeah,
is that
Bruce.
you? Oh, so
cat.
there's this cat at the Wesley House. Shout out to all the homeless cats at the Wesley House. Like 5 of them.
Bee and
five.
Goose, and now Bruce.
Yeah,
and
well-
Chowder is another one.
Wait, did you tell her the Bruce story?
I was on the
know.
porch with you when you named the cat.
I thought it was you and I.
No. Yeah, that was us.
Oh, were you behind us?
Yeah, I was standing behind. I
just-
lurk.
Oh, I
you
didn't
you
see
just
you.
came
Oh,
out of the
I lurk in the shadows.
You just
I'm
came out
actually.
of the house.
I'm actually Batman.
No, you just came out of the house though, because what'd you call him? I was like,
Well, we were talking.
it's as black as the night, and then
We were like the Dark Knight.
yeah,
Like Batman. This cat is like pitch black.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so then you're like, well, we can't call him the Dark Knight. Let's just call him Bruce, like Bruce Wayne. And I was like,
Yeah.
all right, that's kind of cool. So like when other people call him Bruce, it's fine, but they don't know why he's named Bruce.
Yeah.
And only we do, and that's what makes us cooler. Than
You and
everybody
our
else.
listeners.
Everybody listening today,
Yeah.
shout out to Bruce, the Dark Knight cat.
Yes, I really want to get a cat and name him an old man name, or just like a regular person
Leroy?
name.
We
No,
went
or
through
like-
the alphabet one night in
or
line for
just, like,
Chick-fil-A.
just a regular like person name. Like I've really considered
Brian.
Brian as a cat name, or having a cat named Adam.
I don't know if I like human names.
I love
human names.
because
I love human names or other animals.
No, imagine your cat is scratching up your couch. You walk in, see this atrocity, this crime happening.
Right.
You're like, Adam, get your claws off the couch. Like, can you imagine?
Adam, I told you to pee in the litter box.
Yeah.
No, I would call my cat like Strike Force. Strike Force. Get off the couch.
Ugh.
Something like cool, you know?
I know, but I want people, like, if I
Or
live in an
Chewbacca.
apartment,
The cat that lives above me
Chewy.
is named Toast.
Chewy. Toast.
Yeah.
Toast is
the people who
cute.
live above me, their cat's name is Toast.
Toast is cute.
I would
I
name
like that name.
I would name my animals stripper names. Like Cinnamon, Starburst, I don't know. Something like that. Ginger.
Those are your stripper names?
Yeah, what kind of...
Dude, first of all, Starburst, come on. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna,
I can't say anything.
you can't say anything. Oh, it's a Christian podcast. I'm so sorry.
PG.
It's PG. That's PG, right?
No, yours is PG. I need to let...
Oh, yeah. Be careful what you say now. This is on video. I'm just saying, all my animal names are going to have stripper names. And that's
Okay.
fantastic.
No. All of my cats are going to have people names.
Take
I want
your time. What
people
would
that
you
live
do?
around me.
What would
to
I
be
do? I
confused
would
about who I'm
do.
yelling at.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I would do people names. I really would. We had a whole conversation and we went through the alphabet. We went all the way to like almost close to the end.
Yeah.
We
got
went
stuck
all the way
on-
to like, I think X is where we
Yeah, we got...
stopped.
No, because we did Xander.
Then maybe it was
But it wasn't
Y or
like, funny
Z.
enough. I didn't like the Xander because I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. I think we need people on the Great White Buffalo to respond to what they name their animals. Is it human names? Is it like names that are just like off the wall? Is it from characters? Like
Or animal names. I know a dog named Goose. And we have a cat named Goose.
We
at
also
the
have a
Wesley
cat
house.
named Goose.
Man, well,
I had my old
Yeah.
neighbors, their dogs, they had 2 labs and they were Goose and Trout.
would you do a cat dog and a dog cat?
I always said that I wanted to have a dog named DOG. Like it would be spelled differently, but it would sound like DOG. That was my dream in middle school, was to have a dog named DOG. And I think that would be stupid, but I also think it's a fun name.
I would name. I'm all right. If I had a cat, stripper names. If
Okay.
I have a dog, or dogs, multiple. I don't know. Avatar: The Last Airbender
Oh
characters.
my
Absolutely.
I'm
gosh.
talking Momo. I'm talking Appa. I'm
Iroh.
talking
I know there's a guy
Sokka.
on TikTok.
Aang. That's a great dog.
Toph.
Name. Toph.
Toph.
Great dog
I
name.
love...
There's a guy on TikTok that has a little corgi named Appa, and instead of saying come, he trained it to say yip yip. So anytime he says yip yip, it comes to him,
Oh, that's
and it
so
is so
perfect.
cute.
Why
It
living
is so
my
cute.
dream?
It's a little brown and white corgi, and anytime he goes Appa, yip yip, and he like runs to
Oh
him,
my
and it's
gosh.
so
The
cute.
Great White Buffalo needs to adopt an animal. Name it Appa and do the yip yip.
Just pick one of the cats at the Wesley
You
house.
could
we
get
pick up Appa right there. I
a
can't
white
reach him.
bison. Oh.
Buffalo, not bison, whatever. This is Appa right here. And I'm going to literally, we need to do that. That'd be fantastic. And I wonder too, like people who are listening, name a show where you can get more characters. Like I mean, at Star Wars, you could get like
Yeah.
Luke, Leia,
But it's like-
Han.
3 seasons and they're only like 20-minute long episodes. You know what I mean? But there's so many
So, yeah.
characters.
It's one of the best shows, and I think one of the things I love about Avatar: The Last Airbender is adults can enjoy it and kids can enjoy it, and there's very few shows that have clever enough writing where both audiences can get into it. And there's some themes that are adult themes, and there's some themes that are kid themes, and they kind of intertwine. I mean, I think it's beautifully written, and the concept of like the elements, I think it's very spiritual, with the earth bending, the fire bending, the water, and the air.
And how it relates to personality and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a spiritual component, personality component, and then it also honors kind of different martial arts styles and different Asian-based countries, and it's just really cool. I'm a big fan,
Me too.
and I'm an earthbender. I said it. No, nay. Let me change that. I am the avatar. This is my
Okay.
podcast. I'm the avatar.
Okay.
I control all 4 elements.
Okay.
What nation am I born in? That like Aang was an air nomad and Korra was a water. I'm an earthbender.
Okay.
That's born into the avatar. What
Okay.
about you? This is important. I want people to. I want to know what people think they are.
Waterbender.
Absolutely.
Waterbender?
That's what I was going to say for you.
Allie, before I even watched the show, at middle school camp said I was a waterbender. And then
Wait, Allie from
from
my youth group.
Yes. I love Allie.
Yeah.
Stop.
Jinx. Double Jinx.
No.
Ah, it's double girl. You can't talk anymore on the podcast. It's super awkward. That was a natural jinx moment too. We didn't clip it because that was fantastic.
That's because we
No, you
love
can't
Allie
talk.
so much.
You can't talk. There is laws. Maisie. Okay, there you go.
It's because we love Allie so much. We just both had to say it.
Yeah, we love you, Allie. I need to send her. If that's hey, right here. Hey, what's the one they do now?
Like this.
It's like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, we love you, Allie. Boom.
Well, and they do was it this too? People do that.
Yeah.
Wait, what is that? What is
It's
that?
a smaller.
It's like
heart.
a little tiny
You see,
heart, or it's like the base of the heart, or
like-
something like that.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
I don't like it as much. I do this a lot.
I like
do this a lot.
I like this one better because it's just easier.
It took me a long time to figure out.
Yeah, I didn't quite get it the first time, but Allie's fantastic, and I love doing because more than like Harry Potter, because everybody just goes, if you're smart, you're a Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
If you're like brave, you're Gryffindor. If you're
better than
quirky-
everyone else, you're a Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
yeah,
Precisely.
right. But I feel like Benders has more like personality traits to it. Because some people say I'm more of a waterbender than I am earthbender, but I just enjoy Earth so much. What about you, Gracie?
I have heard from other people, and I feel myself. I'm an earthbender.
No, for real.
Yeah, for real. I do.
Metal bend.
I think that would be absolutely sick. I think there's a lot of qualities in Toph that remind me of myself.
Yeah.
Whenever I watch the show,
Yeah, now that you say that, yeah.
Yeah.
You are kind of blind.
I'm not that. I'm not that blind.
Toph is a blind character, in case you didn't know that. If you've never seen the show,
You need to watch it. A shout out.
she's
Yeah.
a little smelly.
Okay, rude.
Tell me that's not a true trait for Toph.
That is true for Toph.
And
Yes,
she's short.
I will give you that one. I am indeed short.
Oh, I'm not saying this about you.
Oh, okay. Well, you said I had a lot of similarities with Toph. Okay, yeah. Okay.
What other similarities are you?
Sarcasm.
Sarcasm. Yeah.
I reek of sarcasm.
Reek. Smelly.
Boom.
There it is.
That's the smelly part. Is I reek of sarcasm all the time.
All the time.
Do you find it harder to connect with girls than guys?
Usually, I definitely. I'm not one of those people that's like, ew, girls. No, but I've naturally gravitated towards guys, and I think it might be because I have a brother, and that's my only sibling is a brother. So I'm just
Toph was too.
yeah,
the
I'm
show.
just used to being around guys. But I mean, my closest friends are girls. Obviously, like Maze. Maze is one of my closest friends. So, but yeah, probably gravitate towards guys. But I don't know.
What made you think waterbender?
Well, first of all, Allie said waterbender, and then when I watched the show, it just, I don't know, like what to put to, like how to put it to words.
You give
Like,
off
why I
waterbender
would-
vibes.
Yeah, that's.
She's just sweet and she's nice, and I feel like Maisie's kind of go with the flow. She just reminds me of waterbending,
I think you just have a spirit that's like
calming.
doesn't get bogged down. You know, like if there's a rock, the water just goes past the rock.
just get around
It
it.
doesn't have to try to go through it. You know, you just go around and
Punch
and
through the
you keep
rock.
moving forward. You know, that's what water does. You're not a pond, you're a river. And I think spiritually, we need to be more like rivers than ponds.
Yeah, ponds are too stagnant. You don't.
They don't
And
move.
they require other things to grow. You know what I mean? Like it needs the rainwater to come down, but rivers can join with other rivers because they're always moving together, you know?
And rivers affect what's around them
Yeah.
as they're flowing. They affect what's around them. I think Maisie does that.
Oh.
I really do. I feel like as you go through life, you just affect a lot of people in positive ways.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, and it's going to help your students out a lot too. I think they're going to benefit.
I hope so.
Maze is
That's-
fantastic with youths,
That's
with the street youths.
the street.
The street youth.
youths.
Once in a
She gets them
while.
off the street and she's a nun.
No, that's like why I decided to go into teaching is because I really like kids and I wanted to have a positive effect on them. But it wasn't so much of like, oh, I want to teach English. Like I like English and I guess I have to be a teacher if I'm going to do English. It was like, I want to work with kids. I guess I'm kind of good at English, so let's go.
Well, no, I mean, I was the exact same way because I always would 4-H and summer camp counselor. I always knew that I was gifted with working with young people. Like I just felt like naturally that's a spiritual gift of mine is working with young people, connecting with them, building relationship, building community, making them feel like they're involved and that they matter. And I always thought that was like in a school sense. So I went and I learned. And I also, with education, you learn how to teach, how to get idea A inside their minds, how they can learn it, can grow from it, and how that can be built upon, which can be put into any content. We just chose social studies or just chose science or English or math. And so it wasn't until in college when I started working with a youth group that I realized, like, oh, like maybe ministry is my content. And that's where I didn't know that was even an option. And so that's where I diverged into ministry. I taught for 2 years, and then I went, whew.
I think we had different backgrounds with teaching, because I always, like, saw ministry as, like, oh, that's how I can definitely work with kids. Like, so for the longest, because my dad was a youth minister.
My dad was a teacher.
So,
Yeah.
so, like, for the longest time, I was like, oh, if I want to work with kids, like, I can do youth ministry like my dad. And, like, the more I was around my dad, I was like, I don't think I have the emotional capacity to be a youth minister. Because it's, like, it's not like a set hour kind of job. It's 24/7. And, like, you know how churches are, like, you have, like, the on-call this week. Like, you're always on call as a youth minister. There's never a moment when you're not.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I have youth kids text me or message me on social media of like, hey, this happened in my life. I'm struggling, whatever. And it's like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, there's not like an office hours from 8 to 5. It's a lot of times. And sometimes, too, like, don't get me wrong. I think teachers are frontline ministers. They may not know it, but they definitely are. Because if you see that kid for me, my homeroom was also my first period. And so I had an hour homeroom and an hour for first period. I saw him for 10 hours a week. Who else did I see for 10 hours in 1 week? Nobody. Even youth kids. I see them 2 hours on a Sunday or maybe 2 hours Wednesday and Sunday, 4 hours, but not 10 hours. And so you really get to know people, really get to know these kids' hearts and these stories, and you get to hear about their families. And so teachers are ministers. I think where the youth minister has the advantage is we take them to different experiences that you can't take them inside the classroom. So you have more time with them, but when you take someone on a mission trip, for example, and you're out of your comfort zone, you're out of your element, boom, like that, you're going to have it create an experience that they can't replicate inside of a classroom. Or you go on a retreat or you go somewhere. But then you also go, well, everybody in the classroom is, they have to be there. Whereas some kids won't go to church, won't go to youth group, won't go to Bible studies or whatever. And so they don't ever get that ministry. They don't get those experiences. So that's why I'm like, I think both of them are very adequate and important for ministry. I don't know if that made sense. I'm kind of rambling a little bit.
It does.
But teachers and youth ministers, as a guy who's done both roles, both are very critical, I think, in letting people know that they're loved. What's up with that, Gracie?
Oh, I agree with everything you say. Ditto. I am not an education major or anything. So.
She's a nurse.
Oh, I know.
For this podcast. Full circle, baby. She's working social media. She's making clips. You know what I would love to do? And I'm going to challenge you to do this because I don't know how to do this.
Oh, I'll try my best.
But you'll probably tell me to do it instead, and I probably should. Is I want to do like the shorts, the YouTube shorts, and like the TikToks were like less than a minute. But I think what might be really cool is do like a full episode, like we're just doing now. Like, hey, we're currently making a full episode. As you're listening to this, this is kind of weird that I'm talking to you about making an episode while making an episode. And that's called Inception. We got depth here in this podcast. Is taking clips that are like 5-minute clips or like 6-minute clips from different, segments and putting that as a video too. So people can click on just like, oh, like we talked about, what have we talked about in this podcast? Like Avatar.
Yeah.
That was like a whole 4-minute clip. Oh, y'all, we're expanding. If you want to be part of this, be part of this because this is a movement. Gracie is my social media supreme leader, director of multimedia marketing.
Put it on a plaque.
And Maisie is our friend. and we love her.
I can't believe you. Number one
we'll
supporter.
get you a role. You know what your role could be? I had 3 people yesterday ask me about merch. 3 separate people, and I don't have any merch. I did have merch. I had hats, stickers, and T-shirts.
Yeah, I want a T-shirt. That was supposed to be my payment.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we still have that. Do you like hats or stickers?
I also love hats.
All right, we'll talk.
Yeah.
Well, but I think we need to do a new merch drop. A 2023
Yes.
fresh merch drop.
2 goals for Great White Buffalo.
But I need
1,000
something that people would wear,
subscribers.
though. So I
What?
need help designing. I can design stuff. I mean,
Okay, I'll try my best.
we'll talk later.
I can help you with that too. I designed the Wesley shirts for this year.
Well, let me see them before I ask you to help out. You know.
Yeah.
You know. Can I tell you this? This was super awkward one time. I had asked someone to like design something for me, and it was not you. I'm not coming at you. And it was terrible. Like it was just not good, and I didn't know how to go. Hey, yeah, not what I asked for, or not what I was envisioning. Let me say that because they definitely made something I was asking for, but just was not I envisioned, and it was a tough conversation. Have you ever had a conversation like that where you had to like ask someone like and you had an expectation or a vision in your mind and they did it and it did not meet your expectation?
Not anything that I can remember. I feel like if it was going to happen, it's usually because I set my expectations really high, and so it's kind of unattainable. And so it's really like a conversation with me, like, hey, I did my best. This is actually pretty good.
Wait, so you're talking for yourself? You do
Yeah.
that? Oh, I was thinking for like other people.
Well,
You never asked someone to do something for you?
No.
Or like a chore or something? Like, hey, like, can you clean the space up? And you came back and it was not clean the way that you thought it should have been?
Yes. Now that you're more specific, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wait, is there a good story behind that?
Not a good story. It was because whenever I have conversations like that, it's usually like I'll say it's usually with my roommates and everything.
Roommates,
And
yeah.
so, but they're really like open and honest and like, oh, okay, like I'll make sure like I do this and this and this next time.
Don't you have international roommates?
No,
Oh, I thought you did for some reason. Mm-mm. And y'all don't live together, right?
no,
No, not yet.
not yet.
We're gonna wreak havoc when we do.
Wait, are y'all about to drop some serious info right now? Are y'all moving in together?
We're trying to after I graduate.
Yeah.
Well, that's like 2 years from now.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I already signed the lease for Bellamy for next year.
I also signed my lease for my apartment for next year. So like
Boring.
summer of 24,
Yeah.
we'll be living together. Hopefully.
Well, you won't be graduated by then.
I'm a junior.
So you're going into your senior year in the fall,
Yeah.
and you'll graduate in May. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Well played. How old? I thought you like. How old are you?
20.
When you turn 21?
April.
Happy birthday. That's close. Well, you don't know when they're listening to this.
That's
episode.
true.
This
Thanks,
could be
guys.
recorded. Wait, was that yesterday? Your birthday was yesterday? Wait. And then, are you a junior or a sophomore?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior. Well,
Yeah, Maisie and I lived on the same hall freshman year.
I feel like people are like listening right now. Like, Ben, do you know who's on your episode? Like, you know nothing
like,
about
no.
Just
our-
found us on the
Random people,
street
yeah.
downtown.
Talking
Like,
about unsafely comfortable around
Please
strangers.
help me. I don't know them. No, that's fantastic. Well, I really appreciate y'all being on the podcast. I love y'all's energy. We all come back and do another episode at some point.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But if you don't know, we like to end every episode with a nugget of wisdom. So basically, it's just like a piece of advice or something that you've been thinking about lately. Your heart's been about something in the last little while, season of life, that you just want to say to someone and pass on. And just a little something for them to chew on. It could be something that we talked about in this episode or just something not related at all. And that's what we like to do, nuggets of wisdom.
Okay.
Y'all did not know that, did you? See, they do not.
I actually did know that.
Thanks,
I have an
subscribers.
entire notes app of my nuggets of wisdom.
No, you do not.
Preparing. I do. Look.
Oh my God, put that
GWV,
on camera,
Nuggets of
please.
wisdom. Do you want me
Look
to-
at this. She actually came prepared. So
I had a notes app full of nuggets.
when you're talking, they can't hear you, but that's great.
Notes app full of nuggets.
That is very impressive. I'm honestly,
I'm a
she's the
long
supreme leader. Like she's the
Yeah.
director of content. All right, so you guys start us off strong. What do you got? What's your nugget
Oh
of
my
wisdom?
goodness. I have to do it first. Okay.
But you had the app prepared.
Yeah.
Okay, this is just something for myself, and it's just make sure to take a break every once in a while. You know, I am a nursing major, so I'm always busy, I'm always going, but it's always really good to take a break. If you're studying for hours, take a 5-minute break, or if you need a 5-hour break, if you need a nap, just always prioritize just having that little bit of a respite and letting your mind take a break for a little while, because it's really not good if you're going at 100 miles an hour all the time. So that's my tip. Whether it's like you work 9 to 5 or 9 to midnight every day of the week and you take the weekends off, that's my thing is make sure you take a break. Make sure your mind gets a little bit of a break. If you're studying for an hour, take a 5-minute break. Pomodoro method, that's my fave.
Oh, I like
Study for 30 minutes, take 5 minutes off. Study for 30 minutes, take 15 minutes off. Goes back and forth.
Well, I think it's also too like people who are working in the professional career of like,
Yeah.
you know, maybe a break isn't just like during the day, but make sure like you take your vacation time. Make sure you take your time off with your family and not, you know, overdo it to a point where you're sacrificing the things that are really important. Because I saw this quote. It's like I think it might have been Jim Carrey, but it's like, who's going to go to your funeral? People who loved you, people who you spent time with. When you leave this world, your job's just going to replace you with another person, right? Like, oh, that's cool. Sorry you died. New person, right? And that job's filled the next week. Whereas, like, your family, your friends, your community are the ones that are going to have a lasting impact with your heart and your legacy. And so that's where you should spend a lot of your time and effort. Not saying you shouldn't go to work and do well, but if you're doing it to a point where you're sacrificing that, take a break and go spend time with them. I love them.
Absolutely.
I like that a lot. That's heartfelt. Maisie, you got to follow that up. What you got?
I know. I think my little nugget of wisdom kind of stems from that, because I don't think I maintained a very good work-life balance last semester, and I didn't spend as much time with my friends as I wanted to.
It's true. I remember that. I said, where's Maisie? She's like, too busy, man.
No, you didn't come by the Wesley house. I could have seen you more there. But
true.
I felt so lonely without you. We never saw each
we
other.
hung out all the time last semester.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So,
I don't know.
I love Maisie's like, I hung out with you all the time, never saw you.
no, I've been starting having a day like where I meet up with like a different like friend group that I have each week. And so like I have a roommate night or day on Tuesday. So I hung out with my roommates before I went to class today because I wasn't going to be there tonight. And then on Wednesdays I'm hanging out with Lauren and Lindy, and then Thursdays I hang out with my friends Sarah and Hannah from freshman year.
Lauren.
No, not the same one.
Not the same one. No. Okay.
And every day you hang out with me.
Yeah, unfortunately. But that's my little nugget of wisdom, is make time for the people that you love.
She was JK.
You can't see the tears that are
Make
rolling
time
down
to
my
be
face.
I have two. One is I've been walking Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays.
Hot girl walks.
With Chris Davis. Hot Girl Walks. What's up? And it's been fantastic. Just that I've been waking up, and y'all might like roll your eyes, but I've been waking up at 7 to get there, and we get into lawn about 7:30, 7:45, and we'll go walk, and we'll be done about before 9, like 8:50, 9 o'clock, and we just walk. We're like hot girl walking. We're like going up hills, and we're sweating, and we're talking about life, we're talking about ministry, we're talking about faith questions, whatever it may be. But it's been good to like get the discipline of waking up early, which sometimes is tough because you're like, ugh, I want to sleep. But it's like, no, wake up early. You go work, work out, walk. We're just walking. We're not doing anything crazy. But it's just been a really good way to start the day. And so I would think about in your career how you could start your day or finish your day. If you can't work out in the morning, work out at night or whatever it may be. And the second thing is it's a church thing. And I want to do a whole episode about this with Nathan because I think he has a lot of insight with churches. But it said, I saw this quote. It said, churches used to be from the bottom looking our way up. If you think about Jesus and who he gathered, he got the people from the bottom. He got people who were commoners, and they looked their way up to the Lord. And that now that church is people at the top looking towards the bottom, looking down at the bottom, and how basically that we forget the disenfranchised, forget those who are less fortunate, those who are struggling, those who don't meet a certain criteria, whatever it may be. And I thought that was a really good challenge. And like something I really wanted to think about what that means in my spiritual walk to look for the bottom, look to our way, Lord. Like if you ever go to like an old cathedral or the old church, and they have these high ceilings where they have like this beautiful artwork up at the top. The purpose was that is when you look at the beauty and you look up top, you're looking towards the heavens. You're looking towards the Lord. And I think sometimes in our relationship is if we're not careful as a church, as an institution, we look down upon people. And I saw this trailer for this movie about the 60s, about like the hippie movement.
Yes,
Have you seen that trailer?
It's
Yeah.
Was it the Jesus Revolution?
The Jesus, yeah, something about Jesus Revolution, where like the church was like didn't want hippie-ish people,
yes.
but they're like, we love Jesus too, and it's like, it was, I don't know. So I want to watch the movie before I say if it's good or not. But it's kind of like that mentality of like, like who are you? And I think I do that sometimes too. So I'm trying to work on that. So I didn't mean to go super deep at the end of our episode. People were like, "Oh, this is
I loved
hilarious,"
it.
and it was like,
Gives them stuff to think about.
yeah. Call us the well because we're always deep. What's up?
Yeah.
Come on, let's go. Boom, we did it. If you yeah, we do a little air fist bump for you, Gracie. If you haven't already, we're on Apple and Spotify. If you could leave us a 5-star review on Apple, it'd be fantastic. We love the fact you subscribe. We're on YouTube. As of today, we have 60 subscribers. All you got to do is go to your YouTube app, type in the Great White Buffalo Podcast. Got to put podcast on there. It pops up with our little logo. You just click subscribe. You can
Bell
click
notification.
click the bell for
the like
notifications, the like buttons. Click on all of our videos, like them. It'd be fantastic.
Yeah, comment any questions.
Literally, you can change our world with a minute of your time opening up the YouTube app and doing that. And we're just trying to get more video content. So that's what we're doing. We love you. Maisie, Gracie, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
And thank y'all for listening to the Great White Buffalo Podcast.
Wandering through the great plains of life, things move fast, sometimes a blur. But don't you let this bumpy road separate you from the herd. And when you think the day is done, the sun is getting low, we're all looking for something rare, the great white buffalo. The Great White Buffalo Podcast with Ben Mayfield.